Hello and welcome to another episode of Strictly Healthy Show. I'm very excited today because I have a very special guest dealing with social media and how to do networking, how to do social media well. And my amazing guest is Farah Hussain. Thank you, Farah, for joining joining me today. I'm just trying to unmute you. Come on.
Do you know what? I was just like dancing away at the music theme. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. So I'm just going,
Yeah.
that's really
We
nice.
should have done a little bit of a boogie, I think.
Yeah, I like dancing. Yes. It's all about having fun. That's
Oh
what it is.
yeah. So how are you today
I am
anyway?
awesome.
I
Absolutely
am
awesome.
I am so excited to have you on my program today because I consider you to be an influencer extraordinaire. I know there's many out there and some bigger, some smaller, etc. Size wise. I'm talking about number of audience and so on. But what I like about you is that you're humble. How many actual followers do you have?
Imagine me sitting counting them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But
Good job, you don't
because
have to count them.
thank God I'll be at it all day. Over 10130K. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
you say it. Yeah, just let's just
Now,
round it off like that.
that is amazing. I mean, that is an amazing achievement because it's not an easy sort of process, is it?
No.
You know, Perhaps we could just step back a minute and you can tell me a little bit about your journey, about how you got started, why you got started, what your business is about, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so many questions, but where do I start?
Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Like what? Okay, where do I start? How did my journey start? It all started when I think the universe, or you would say God, kicked my backside and wanted to expose me to the world.
Oh,
Right?
right. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's how it started. It wasn't. It's everybody's story. It's never an easy ride, and
No.
everybody's got struggles and obstacles, and it's how you overcome them, how you
Yes.
decide what you're going to do. So my husband had an operation. And a lot of people know this, right? But my husband had an operation and it didn't go well and it disabled him. And he was the main breadwinner, and then
Right.
it was a reverse role. So, cut a long story
Yeah.
short, had two young kids,
Yeah.
had to get out there and look for a job. So,
Yes.
my career started cleaning tables
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
because I had to survive.
Yeah. Yeah. So cleaning tables, so you're at a restaurant and that sort of thing. Yeah. So how then did you transition from there to sort of what you're doing now then? How did that come about?
It's been a while. Now, let me tell you one thing, right? And I still laugh at this, and it makes
Okay.
me laugh so much. At that time, it didn't, but now when I look back and I think, but having conversation with people, and they told me telesales makes a lot of money.
Right.
And I'm
Okay.
like, what's telesales? And people like, oh, that means where you pick up the phone and you talk to people and you talk and you sell stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and it makes a
Yeah.
lot of money. And I went, ching, ching. I think, "Right, that's interesting. I know how to talk. Like, that's easy. I'll go and do it. And do you know what? And then they said, you need to know how to learn your phonetics. I'm like, what the hell are phonetics?
Yeah.
And they taught me.
Right.
So, I
Yeah.
learnt it, and I thought I was a big yes, I know it all. So I applied for my first telesales job after 3 months of learning my phonetics,
Hmm.
and I walked in and I said to the director, the manager, I can't even remember now, I've only got 15 minutes. I know what telesales do, and I know my phonetics. So I didn't let her speak.
Right.
I didn't let her speak, and I just rhymed everything out, and I said, okay, I need to go. And that was it.
It
Imagine
sounds like
doing
a
that.
nightmare. It sounds like a nightmare.
And literally, she was sitting there and she was rolling around laughing. I'm like, what? What have I said? I just couldn't understand it. But after 15 minutes, she says, Farah, would love to have you.
Oh, so you must have done well with that particular job. Did you do well with that?
I did. I stayed there for 7 years. 7
Oh,
years I
7 years.
stayed there, ran teams, I managed the floors, and worked my way up, and that's when I found myself enjoying sales. And I'll tell you
Right.
why. The
Mm,
reason why I liked selling was it wasn't the art of selling, it was
mhm.
the art of having a conversation,
Right. Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
managing your customers or your clients' expectations. And
Mhm.
if a particular product or service wasn't good for them, I'd tell them. Did I
Oh,
get into
well,
trouble?
that's yeah.
I
You
got
got
into
into
trouble.
trouble, I would imagine.
Yeah, I got into trouble. But did it bother me? No. But I still was the top salesperson.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess you were being a human being and
Yeah,
being honest about whether something would work or not. And people probably saw that coming through, you know,
yeah,
in terms of, yeah, it probably showed you cared about people.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. So still, you're not telling me how you sort of went from there, from the sales into
And doing
what
what I'm
you're
doing.
doing now, which is your networking. And then we're going
Well,
to talk about social
I've kind of
media stuff.
networked with organisations in the past, right? But
Hmm.
coming out networking face to face and going there, it's been what, see, 10 years? Been doing networking for quite a long time now. And
Hmm.
I walked into a room full of strangers and they looked at me up and down and said, oh, nah.
Well, I mean, I hope I'm not going to be blunt in saying you don't look like the typical networker in the UK. So I imagine you must get that all the time.
Get it all the time. You get it all the time. But
I
then
get
the
it
thing
too.
is,
I
yeah,
get it
I
too.
can imagine that. And when you look a little
Yeah.
bit different,
Yeah.
people look at you up and down and think, nah, but they didn't know who I knew.
Right.
They
Right.
didn't know me, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the whole beauty of it. It's like when you surround yourself with people that you like and they like you for for particular reasons, that's where
Mm,
all the magic happens.
that's
So
right.
that's where my first experience was in networking, and I promised myself, Linda, that
Hmm.
anybody that walks through that door, I will hold their hand and I will connect them with everybody in the room.
Hmm.
Now, I
Hmm.
was not the host of the event, not at all, but I made sure I did that. And then
Yeah.
everybody started recognizing me because I started connecting people. And somebody said to me, Farah, you are a business connector. I'm like, what the hell is a business
Yes.
connector? I didn't know what it was. And then
But you were doing it. You were
I was
doing it.
doing it. I was
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't know what's right and wrong, but you know it feels good. And because it
Mm,
felt good, because that horrible feeling, butterflies in your stomach, walking into a
mm.
room full of strangers, how do you connect with these people? So that
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
journey into networking. But what
Right.
happened was I started doing a lot of networking, but I did networking until I was blue in the face, but I didn't get anywhere from it,
Oh,
right?
right.
Because
Okay.
didn't realize that you need to have a strategy. You need to know what you're doing, right?
Hmm.
You're tired, you're going because you think you need to be there. But
Yeah.
then I realized that you need to be in your own tribe. You need to find like-minded people like yourself who you can connect with and work with and pass referrals. That's what I realized. And then when I
Mm.
realized it was the aha moment, that's when things started shifting.
And you thought long and hard about your networking name, haven't you? That caught you off guard, didn't it?
You did, you did, you did. But I tell you the truth, Linda, I always say keep things simple.
Yeah, yeah. So your
Yeah.
networking name is Farah's Networking,
Para
basically.
networking, simple,
Uh,
simple as that.
Sorry, I was saying it wrong.
Yeah.
Farah's Networking. But I love your networking group. It is refreshing. It is different, and the reason why it's different is because it's not stuffy. It's not like people get to networking groups and they're all uptight and they're all worried about, how to get their message across, etc. Explain how you do that in a simple fashion. What do you do with your networking?
Networking is such a powerful tool, and I believe it should be accessible to every single person out there if they utilize it. Because mindset, networking, and accountability are the three things that shaped me and
Mm,
taught me a lot.
mm,
Because you're out there all by yourself, right? When you're starting your journey in your business,
yeah.
and you don't have people to bounce off ideas, and you don't know. My dream was to open up a business cafe, a platform where people could eat, meet, and connect. That
Mm,
was my
yes.
dream. because that's
Yeah.
where you can sit down, have a coffee, meet, connect, and that's what I love doing. So
Yes.
what I've done with via networking, I've just kind of reinvented networking. And what I
Mhm.
mean by that is this: there's so many networking groups, and every networking group shines in different ways because they're
Mhm.
there for different types of people with different
Mm.
mindsets. Via networking isn't for those people who want to pitch, right? You don't want if it's like don't like pitching, good. You don't like presentations, good. That's what I bring in. It's all
Mhm.
about human centered networking, building
Right.
those connections, having those conversations, getting to know one another,
Mhm.
right? Planting seeds,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
that's
Well,
where the magic happens.
yes, and you're right. There is a lot of magic in your networking because you ask simple questions, I guess, or get people in their little groups as they break, their breakout rooms, etc. You ask interesting and simple questions, not your typical ones that would you would get, like, can you pitch for 30 seconds and tell me what you do? But you ask some interesting questions. One of which I think was when I went was I think something along the lines of, when was the last time you got into trouble or said something naughty or said something you shouldn't have said? Or
Something like that.
isn't maybe you can share some of the themes that you ask, some of the
Well, the one I
questions.
really like, and I always say this to everybody, if you could do something and not get caught, what would it be?
Ah, that was the one. That was the one.
Yes, that one. That I love that, and that came across when I watched Heist, Money Heist, and it was so exciting. And it was like the professor, and he had this team, and he worked everything, and I'm like, what if I get away with it?
But
No?
I think what it does is it relaxes people first of all, and it opens people's minds to like, you can just see the shoulders drop, and then people start thinking, oh, let me just be a human being for a second and just talk about something else. I can
Yeah,
pitch later, but
exactly.
yeah, I guess
But
that's the
Linda, if you
purpose
actually think
behind
about
it.
it, you take the pressure off each other, right? You take the pressure off, and when you take the pressure off, you have meaningful conversations, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes a faff out of everything. You just sit down and you have a conversation. You decide in amongst a group if I want to continue this conversation, or someone said something and it's like, oh my God, I never thought of that.
Mm, mm,
And when you're pitching and just talking about business, you don't get those aha moments. And
mm-hmm.
it's those
Yeah.
aha moments that can change
Yeah.
things, or just a little bit of a tweak in a
Mm,
conversation, a tweak in your business, and
mm.
things change.
Yes, yeah. Well, I tell you, I've never had such a belly laugh at a networking meeting before. So it's really, really good. And so I congratulate you for that, for what you've done. So let's just switch gears a minute and just go on to social media and how you got started. I know you said you've only been doing it for 2 years, but yet you have 130K followers. That is no small achievement. So give us an overview of how you got started doing that. And any of the challenges or hurdles in the initial stages in getting to build your audience.
Everything starts with your mindset.
Hmm.
When you have the right mindset and you have that self belief and confidence, everything else just falls into place
Hmm.
and you start doing things. I mean, I was one of those people who didn't even like to have a profile picture on LinkedIn. I didn't like
Tell me
videos.
about it.
Yeah,
Tell
I
me
didn't
about it.
like
Yeah,
that
I'm
because
the same.
I didn't like the way I looked,
Hmm.
right? And when you understand that when you're out there in public, people forget what you look like, but they just hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, good
reading
point.
what you're writing. That
Yeah.
everything just takes it away from there. And then I
Mm-hmm.
stopped thinking like that. And I worked on myself so much. I had to change my mindset. I had to go through the process of understanding me, understanding why do I want to put myself out there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So when you understand why, you've got clarity,
Mm-hmm.
then it's easy for you to actually go and do what you have to do. But it's not an overnight success. It's not overnight. Now,
No, no.
when we talk about social media, now there's
Mm-hmm.
not many people out there doing what I'm doing, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
growing up, I never had a role model. We women at our age didn't have a role model, especially with women wearing hijabs, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have somebody has to take that responsibility.
Mm. So are
So
you a leader then in your community then, um, with wearing hijabs and so on and doing what you're doing?
to be honest with you, Linda, there's many of us.
Hmm.
There's many women out there that are doing what they're doing. They're shining, but the only
Not in the
difference
UK
is
though.
there
Not
is
in
in
the
the UK. Yeah, there is. There is. I know quite a lot of women out there doing what I'm doing,
Okay.
but the thing is, they're not recognised. They're not put out in the front. They don't
Mm-hmm.
get the titles,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So that's another story.
Hmm.
So there's so many out there that are doing a phenomenal job, inspiring job, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just part of that group.
That is amazing. I think it's amazing what you're doing, actually. So, I just want to delve a little bit deeper about social media. What social media platforms do you find are the best or the most helpful and the ones that you can build quickly on?
Well, I would always say LinkedIn. LinkedIn
LinkedIn.
is a gold mine. Gold mine. LinkedIn, if you know how to use it properly, and if you, it doesn't matter, again, if you think about it, it doesn't matter what social media platform you use.
Mm-hmm.
When you have the ability and you have the true belief in what you're doing and you are authentic because people are craving authenticity. If you
Mm-hmm.
have, if you're authentic, you're true to yourself, it doesn't matter what social media platforms that you do. But you've got to
Mm-hmm.
also remember the social media platforms aren't the problem.
Mm.
It's the people who are the problem. It's the
What
people who put all this.
the people in each individual social media
Yeah,
platform
it's the
or
people, yeah, who troll, who put nasty comments on there, who use social media for different reasons, right? So we've got phenomenal tools. If you use them correctly, they're powerful. If you use
yes,
them bad, then it's
yeah.
corruption.
Right, yeah. So speaking of trolls, why do you think people do troll on these networking groups? And does that affect you much?
If you asked me this question 5 years ago,
Hmm.
I would say yes. But now
It does affect
it
you, yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't
It
because I just
doesn't
block
affect
them. Just block them. I don't give them the space. I don't
you.
give
Yeah.
them the space. I don't reply back to them. There's no need. It's their insecurities, not
Mm,
mine.
mm,
So they're
yeah,
not my tribe.
yeah,
So if they don't like me, you don't like what I'm saying, scroll away,
yeah.
block, don't read. So you've got the time to comment. So I have the ability. I'm the one in control,
Hmm.
right? So if I start looking at it and feeling, oh my God, what they're gonna think, I'll never achieve what I want to achieve.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you block
So,
them, you just get rid of them and move
mm,
on.
mm. So, yeah, I like some of, well, I like a lot of the messages and so on you put out there. But it seems to me that say like LinkedIn, you have to have a certain persona on LinkedIn, and then you have a different one on Instagram, and then another one on TikTok. Do you find that that's the case, or you just do the same thing on each one?
Same thing on each one. Yeah,
See, oh, okay, and it works quite well for you. Like,
absolutely.
did this happen in the beginning though? Because I find that with LinkedIn, everybody seems to be very, very stuffy, business-like, etc. And so you have to sort of come with that sort of mindset.
Initially, LinkedIn was like that before COVID. Before
Yeah.
COVID, it was very like that. And anytime
Mm,
you put up a post, people would say, oh, this is not Facebook or this is not Instagram, right?
right.
Or
Yes.
they'll
Yeah.
start apologizing, saying, I'm so sorry. I don't normally put up these posts, but why are you apologizing?
Mm,
Right?
mm,
Yeah, COVID has changed a lot of things. COVID has changed the way we do things, the way we work, right?
mm,
And we just follow it. Now, so
mm,
LinkedIn is not so stuffy as it used to
yeah.
be before
Yeah.
because people now just do what they want to do on LinkedIn. And remember, it's all about telling stories.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the more stories you tell, the more people you get to know what you do behind the scenes, behind the brand, behind your
Yeah.
business. They're more likely to connect with you.
And further on telling your story, it's about sharing a little bit about you and telling a little bit about who you are and
Yes.
etc. So, if you don't mind me asking a couple personal questions, not
Go,
too
go,
personal.
go,
No,
go,
here we
go.
go. We're going
Watch,
there. We're
watch,
going
watch.
there.
Right, I'm just looking for something like no. No, just go. I'm just joking.
You can always like delete, close it down and not talk to me. I'm fair enough. But I just wanted to know a little bit more about your family and how they feel about you networking and so on. I think you said you had two daughters.
No, I have a son. I have a daughter.
Oh, oh, you
Yes,
have a
I have
son and
two
a daughter.
children. I've got a
Okay.
son and a
How
daughter.
how do they feel about you networking and being on these different platforms? Because kids are very embarrassed with their parents anyway,
They
as a
are.
normal.
Absolutely. But I've learned a lot from my children. My children have taught me a lot. They're very proud of what I do. They
Oh, good.
support what I do. And when it is cringy, they'll tell me, Mum, that's cringy. Don't do it, please. So they tell me off. They keep me grounded. Let's just say it that way. They keep me grounded. They're very proud that I love my
So what
children.
what have
It's good.
what have they found to be cringy then? Anything in particular?
They're young kids,
What
right?
ages?
Well, my son's 22, my daughter's 26.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're
It's not
young
too.
kids and
Mhm.
like, but still cringy, like of some mom, you don't do that, don't do it this way, and don't do it that way. I can't give you any particular ones, but
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes they'll be, oh, that's too cheesy, don't do it, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
whereas
And
mama still does it.
sorry, I missed that.
I said, mama still does it.
You don't really care, do you?
I don't care.
But which ones have you found that has given you more success than the types of videos that you've done?
It's the ones with taboo subjects, things that we
Oh,
don't talk culturally that are not spoken about.
mm,
Menopause, periods, sex, divorce,
okay,
marriages,
okay.
yeah,
Mm,
cultural differences, the difference
mm,
between culture and religion. Those
mm,
are the things because they're not spoken about.
mm,
And I think I've just got out there and started speaking about it because I questioned those things as well.
mm,
Why?
yeah.
So obviously I'm thinking about it and other people are thinking about it. I just went out and done it.
So what do you just share your opinion, or you had experts on talking about various topics?
Well, Instagram. Well, we do our Instagram lives, myself and my co-host Ash. You probably see her on LinkedIn. Amazing individual. She's diversity and inclusion coach, and so we both host a live Instagram every first Friday of the month, which is tomorrow. And we've started doing that, and we'll be bringing in experts and talking about it. But then
Hmm.
that's Instagram. But then on TikTok, you don't you can do lives and you can I don't do the lives, but I just do the short videos and take that message out. So it could be music in the background, but if it's like a catchy tune, you might see me dancing. If it's something
Hmm.
serious, I'll just talk about it. But
Hmm.
because every platform is different and you've got to go with what the platform wants you to do. So you do that and you just
Yeah.
shape it around with other
Mm.
platforms as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're very good at it. In my opinion, and I'm going to definitely be following you and watching a lot more of your videos because I'm also trying to build an audience. But um, one of the funniest ones I think you've done that I've seen so far. I know you've done loads, but the one about grandma, pushing grandma or something like that. I think you have to have a certain comedic timing as well. You have to have a
Oh,
bit
that
of a
was funny.
comedic timing.
I had to do that one. It was trending on TikTok, and I really had to do it. And I really thought about it. And I go, so what if I went to my mum and dad and said I pushed grandma off the stairs? Honestly, what my mum would have done, she'd probably throw me down the stairs. So I
Oh,
just
good
had to
one.
do that one. That was a really good one. I really
Yeah,
liked that.
yeah. Because those videos just they get attention, and then that's how you sort of build from there. Is that how you find the process works for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Linda, it's never about selling. See, when you take that away, the pressure away of not selling,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're just out there being you, doing what you're wanting to do. And if people want to connect with you, fantastic. If they want to find out what you do, even better. And if they want to work with you, fantastic. But do you know
Mm-hmm.
what? We're not for everyone. We can't please everyone. And the
Yeah.
people who want to work with you, they'll come to you. And if they
Mm-hmm.
don't, they'll go to someone else. There's so much out there for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's enough business out there for everybody.
Exactly.
So what, just tell me a little bit more about what your business is. You is it three different types of business or services that you offer, or
But
can you?
basically, I do fara networking, right? And I coach people how to network behind the scenes by creating visibility on various social media platforms. Not that I'm a LinkedIn trainer, no, I'm not a TikTok trainer, I'm not. I've mapped out the way I do things. So, as I said in the beginning, mindset is everything. So, we talk about mindset of networking, and then I hold them accountable. So we work together with the mindset. Then we talk about networking, how to do it, how to be visible. Some people don't like videos. That's not a problem. You don't have to be doing videos if you don't want to. So you can be invisible yet be visible at the same
Yeah,
time. And I
yeah.
just show you how to do it. So that's what I do.
Oh, very good. Yeah, excellent. I really, really appreciate all of these tips that you're sharing today. Just a bit more about how you go about building your social media audience and platform. Can you just tell us or break it down a little bit more, or how you did it, bit
Break
by
it
bit?
down. Yeah, but everybody starts from zero. Remember that. We all start from here, and everyone's journey is different. Might
Hmm.
be at a different level, you might be at a different level. So if I'm already on TikTok and you're starting it, you can't compare your journey to mine because it doesn't work like that. And when we stop looking at the likes and engagement, we stop looking at it and just have fun with what you're doing and just be
So,
you.
yeah,
Watch the
yeah.
organic reach, then people will see that. If you're not you, people will see through you. And
Yeah.
trust the process. It's a process. Let
Mhm.
it build slowly and see what happens. But if you don't start, you'll get nowhere.
Yes, yeah. Well, indeed, you got to start from somewhere.
I start from
So,
somewhere.
so what did you find? Was there anything in particular that helped you to go viral? Because I imagine there was some videos or something that helped you to go viral or build quicker or whatever.
Well, I don't know if this happens, but my very first TikTok video went viral.
Right.
I
What
was
was
in
that?
my PGs. It was COVID. I was in my PGs and just finished a Zoom call like in Canada or somewhere. It was the time zones, and I was practicing this dance. I thought, this is great. This is great music, and I was laughing at the kids. And I'm like, I'm going to go on TikTok, and we actually did it, and had no idea. We just done it and put it out and went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning with tons of messages. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I just couldn't figure out, why are people liking this? And then I think it dawned. It was just being having fun and just being me.
Mm, yeah, you've done very well. So, on which platform? Just to give, people and the listeners some idea, which platform did you find you got most of your business or your actual paying clients and customers from?
LinkedIn.
Oh, it was LinkedIn.
It
Okay.
was
Okay.
LinkedIn. Yeah. Remember the
Oh,
other social media platforms, you can use them as a business, but I don't use that as a business. I use those tools as to create visibility.
right.
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 Because remember, many of those people that are following you on TikTok or Instagram, they will be following you on LinkedIn. So they see a different version of you, like the business. So they see the other side of you. Do you see the
Mm,
link? Yeah.
yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's visibility.
Okay. Yeah, very good. And is there any particular tool that you use, especially that helps you with forming your videos and so on? Anything? Because people use lots of different ones, but I'm just curious.
People use a lot of different tools. I just keep it simple. I just
Mhm.
press, do what I have to do, edit when it tells you what to do, and then it's
Mm,
let it out there. So if you look for perfection, you'll be at
yeah,
it the whole day. Sometimes it's
indeed.
good, sometimes it's not. Just put it out there the way it
Yeah,
is.
I like your attitude. Just not be worried about it and not be self-conscious. Just put it out there because nobody's perfect, you
Nobody's
know.
perfect. Yeah.
And if we're waiting to be perfect, we'll never do it.
You'll never do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, any final words that you want to share or tips that you want to share, uh, Farah?
Yes. Before we
Oh,
go, I just would like to say is that life is too short. Fulfill your dreams. Go and do what you have to do. Don't worry about what if something goes wrong. Just think about it. What if this is for you?
yeah, yeah. I really, really, really appreciate your time today and for sharing your thoughts. And I mean, those there were a lot of gems and a lot of takeaways in what you shared today. So
Thank you.
really, really appreciate it. So I'm just going to wrap up. Thank you so much. Cheers. That was Farah Hussain, who was, I would say, an amazing influencer and a genuinely lovely person. And she has 130K followers. So she definitely is an influencer and has lots to share with us in terms of social media. So please join me, same time, same space, and we'll find out a little bit more about what we can do to help not only with our health, but our business health as well. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.